I just want to follow up just a little bit, I think, of where maybe Representative Allett was going with the GGO line item, with the request for, I think, about $1.6 million. And we have in our breakdown of the governor's budget, the $795,000 for elections modernization implementation, which we've talked about a little bit as we've gone on today. I guess my thought is talking about the other $775,000, which I think is listed as simply continued, whether it be maintenance or just continuing where we are now. And that number seems awfully high to me. I mean, it's almost a 50-50 split in what is being used for a one-time modernization project versus what we're going to continue to see going forward. My concern would be that that number would continue to elevate. So could we just hear a little bit about the other 775, why that number, and what it's going to be used for? Thank you.
I'm going to ask Director Mattis to reply.
What we did in our budget requests going to as we move forward, one of the things that our general government operations appropriation does also have is our elections entity. So that's our Bureau of Elections and Notaries, our Bureau of Election Security and Technology, and our Bureau of campaign financing and civic engagement. So one of the things is when we have to maintain ongoing operations for those particular bureaus, it is a 100% effect on the general fund. So one of the things that we're trying to do is more adequately fund those particular programs in line with what the actual spends are. So a lot of the things that we're seeing, we're relying on use of prior year waiver dollars, things like that, that might not always be available to us. So
our spends have been that low that it requires that kind of an increase to just catch up? Is that
right?
Is that what
yeah,
you're saying?
We've had a lot of use of waiver dollars in the past few years, so we're just trying to catch that up to try and get it into a more stable appropriation. One of the things we want is transparency. So having that particular set of expenses in our general government operations line may not be as transparent as we would like it to be. So that we are definitely looking at ways that we can kind of maybe break that apart into its own appropriations so we can clearly see election funding and what those costs really are, and not necessarily as a general government operation appropriation.
All right, so I'm going to try and understand then where we're going to be, because, as we look at these budgets, we do it year by year, but you also try and project somewhat into the future. And so I guess what I'm hearing is, if this is, and again, these are my words, not yours, I'm using a layman's term here, if we're catching up to where we should be, do we then anticipate, I'm trying to look for if this kind of an increase is going to continue to come year after year, or is I understand the modernization is kind of not a one-time thing, but it's for right now and as we implement. But as we look at the other half of that GGO request, is that going to be consistently jumping up? Are you saying, well, this will get us to about half where we need to be, and then next time we're going to go for more, or are you going for one big swing right now?
We're going for the big swing, trying to get it under control where it needs to be, and then we'll be able to, kind of be reliant on current year dollars going forward.
Okay. As we look then, as we develop this budget product, and I know obviously it's hard because this is what you asked for, but do you believe that there is a number that is less than that can move us towards that direction, or are we going to continue to be backed up, in your opinion, if we don't hit that number?
We can certainly look into it. This does keep our elections area, healthier. There's a lot of unknowns in that arena. So making sure that we are in a place where we can cover all the expenses that are coming, and that's kind of where we are. Because,
Madam Secretary, I know you wanted to.
We have been relying on other funding sources.
Thank you.
I have to say that coming in to the department in 2018, I was actually shocked at how small the elections team was, managing 67 counties elections, and upon further review, it had been cut over the last decade significantly. I think this is obviously the year to make sure that we have the resources to provide the counties with every single bit of training and support we possibly can. But we're always so like the new voter registration system, no. The move to replace the old voter registration system with the new one, and I think you've seen, we're planning to do that in 2021. We already have an RFP that's out there. So we're still working from a voter registration system that was installed in what, 2002?
2003 through
2003.
2005, it was phased in.
So that, like many old systems, actually costs more to run than it should. So actually going to a new system, though it has, the one-time cost, is going to end up costing less, hopefully, over time. And we're not at the end of the bid process yet. But so there are the plan, the actual moving forward to the new systems can help us then save money over time. But we need the investment now in order to make sure, as asked earlier, not to be the Iowa, because Iowa, even though Pennsylvania has nothing to do with what Iowa did, right? Like that was run by party, not by election officials, and there's a million reasons why we're different. But the one thing that's really the same is that preparation, training, testing, we need to be making sure that counties have access to every bit of support we could give them.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.